up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan baseball is on a winning streak. The national men's team clinched their first major tournament title at the weekend. And now at the junior level, Taiwan has beat Japan to enter the finals at the Under-12 Asian Baseball Championship after demolishing China. With the sport in the spotlight, Taiwan's baseball enthusiasts are looking at how the country can sustain its recent successes. Eric Gao has more.
Ball, meet, bat. That's an introduction Taiwan's under-12 baseball team brokered several times during this game at the U-12 Asian Baseball Championship in Japan. Taiwan punched its ticket into the semifinals with a resounding victory over China, 16-0, triggering the tournament's mercy rule and ending the game in just the fourth inning. It then beat Japan 1-0 and is now in the finals. Accompanying this red-hot lineup are coaching staff that offer encouragement and guidance. This is hot off the heels of Taiwan's first ever major international baseball win at the WSBC Premier 12 tournament, where Taiwan managed to pull off a major upset by beating world #1 Japan in the gold medal round. Many stars on that team, like infielder Zhang Kunyu and pitcher Zhang Yi, got their start at the youth level. With Taiwan's baseball stars racking up the accolades, fans are now hoping the country can turn its recent successes into a longer-lasting legacy.
中华队2013年输给日本队啊，而且现在逆转胜，而且隔了10几年，我觉得就是台湾棒球的转捩点。
我是希望说大家继续把这个气势啊，就是延续到之后的 WBC， 还有2028年的洛杉矶奥运。
A couple of local governments have announced more funding for baseball development programs. But that might not be enough to fulfill Taiwan's lofty national ambitions, particularly if the country is to continue contending with heavyweights like Japan.
日本，你看他们为什么会那么好？你看他高中就有将近2000多队了，那台湾才是有多少队？我们把这个面能够做大一点，国小开始就慢慢的给他们基础的养成，慢慢的一步步的这样上来，可能会比较好一点。
In the wake of the Premier 12 win, Taiwan's Professional Baseball Players Association released a statement calling for better infrastructure for the sport. It says Taiwan needs to address deficiencies in its education and sports programs to keep the momentum going. With Taiwan's sluggers on a hot streak, this may very well be a turning point for baseball in the country. Will Taiwan rest on its laurels? Or will it go all in and try to establish a dynasty of homegrown, home run success? Patrick Chen, Leslie Liao, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
With Donald Trump set to return to the White House next year, all eyes are on how he'll handle the war in Ukraine, which he has vowed to end within days of taking office. And at least one Ukrainian MP believes he has the ability to do it. Alexander Marasko, the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Ukrainian parliament, has nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. TaiwanPlus reporter Ed Moon spoke to Marasko to find out why.
Thank you for joining us today, Alexander. Can you tell us very simply, why have you decided to nominate President-elect Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, for two reasons. Speaking objectively, he deserves to receive a Nobel Peace Prize for example, for the Abraham Accords, which he mediated very successfully. And the second reason, which is important for Ukraine, is that under his administration, Ukraine had started to receive military aid from the United States, including lethal weapons like javelins, which helped us right after the full-scale invasion. And also, he was supportive of creating a coalition in support of Ukraine against Russian aggression.
You're a member of President Zelensky's ruling party, an influential member of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Ukrainian parliament. Did you run this decision by President Zelensky before making the nomination? And has it caused any controversy in Ukraine?
Well, it's an interesting question because this idea occurred to me spontaneously 2 days ago. And I decided to act immediately. So it was my idea and my risk. For politicians, of course, any kind of ideas like that, original ideas, they might cause cause problems. But I didn't consult anyone. I mean that I didn't talk to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I didn't talk to the Office of the President. It was purely my own decision. And I bear all responsibility and all risk for this decision.
Obviously, as you say, there's a number of conflicts going on around the world right now. Let's start with the one nearest to your heart. President-elect Trump says he's going to bring an end to the war in Ukraine within days of him taking office. If Trump suggests that Ukraine cede territory in order to get a peace with Russia, would you agree with that?
Of course not. It's absolutely out of the question for Ukraine. That's why it's not only about Ukraine. It's not only about our territorial integrity. It's about the fate and future of the humankind and the world order. That's why it's so important. So, and I believe that Trump understands this. Of course, I cannot be 100% sure, but I believe, and I'm almost certain that he will never do it. He will never do it because it would be against interests of the United States.
President-elect Trump is about to start his second term. The outcome of many of these conflicts is not yet known. Is it fair to say that this is more of a wishful thinking nomination than one that's based on what he's actually achieved?
Well, it's hope, but it's not wishful thinking. You know, it has both sides. On the one hand, in this way, I wanted to express our gratitude for what was already done by Trump to support Ukraine. So it's a gesture of gratitude. And on the other hand, it's a gesture of hope. It's a gesture of hope for us because our fate depends on the United States. Our survival depends on the United States and, of course, depends on the President of the United States.
That was Ukrainian MP Alexander Marasko speaking from Kyiv. China is the world's largest potato producer, but climate change is threatening to devastate crop yields. Now the country's scientists are working towards preventing a global agricultural crisis. Wesley Lewis has more.
This is China's potato-growing region. The high altitude of the northern provinces of Hebei and Inner Mongolia provide the ideal cool and dry climate for the crop. But climate change and shifting weather patterns are putting this all at risk.
还有就是由于雨水过大呢，所以收获的进度受到了比较大的拖累。但是现在呢，整个这个地区的收获大概只完成了1/3左右。
To better understand how climate change is impacting the crop, scientists at China's International Potato Center are conducting tests. In labs equipped with heat chambers, raising temperatures to expected global warming levels to monitor changes to crop yields. And their findings are concerning.
我觉得是令人担忧的，因为温度的变化，我现在的这个设定是3度，平均温度3度的变化，它对产量的影响，是极显著的，所以说它会显著的降低当前品种的产量。
The lab found that the temperature rise sped up the growth process, but more than halved the yield. And with China being the world's largest producer of potatoes, accounting for nearly 1/4 of global production, this raises concerns for global food security. Aggravating matters, climate change has also led to the growth of new plant viruses.
一些新的更具侵略性的菌株呢开始出现了，这些菌株呢对传统的防治方法呢也是有更强的抵抗力，使得防治工作呢也是更加的困难了。
For now, scientists say farmers will have to adapt, planting in the spring instead of the summer, or moving to even higher altitudes. While in this lab, they continue to study the effects of global warming on the crop, to potentially find ways to prevent a blight on global agricultural production. Andy Xu and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website and follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, come with us to Rio de Janeiro for the Brazilian city's annual Pride Parade. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.